Today I'll be talking about the movie Nerve, which is set in a strange, futuristic world where Apple's the only technology company, phones never die, Macs have touchscreens, iPads have cell service at all times, and of course, every teenager is a hardcore hacker. Nerve is an adaptation of the book of the same name, written by Jeanne Ryan. Henry Joss and Ariel Schumann directed it, and they also directed Paranormal Activity 3 and 4. I've not seen either of those movies, and I can assure you that this one is much better. The movie stars Emma Roberts as V, a high school senior who decides that she needs to take more risks in her life, and to do this, she plays a mysterious game called Nerve. Nerve is a game where people pay to watch players, and these players attempt to complete dares set by the audience. The riskier the dare, the more money you get. V is soon paired up with another teenager, Ian, played by Dave Franco, and the two of them play Nerve all across New York City until they realize that they don't have an option to stop. The whole concept of the game Nerve was really interesting. It was also presented in a great way. It was kind of sketchy, but also intriguing. I think that if this game was real, kids would actually play it. The only thing I didn't like about how the game Nerve was presented is that literally everyone was playing or watching. In almost every shot, there would be a crowd of people with a camera who was either a watcher or player. First off, if all these people were playing this game, there would not be a crowd of people on every street of New York City. Secondly, if this many people were playing, it would not be kept a secret from police and adults. This really bothered me at times, but it also worked throughout the film too. It was really uneasy to think about the fact that these people are constantly being videotaped and watched, and this is what the film was trying to express. I went into this movie pretty excited, but I was not expecting it to be great. I thought the concept was really interesting, but I wasn't sure how it could be stretched out into an hour-and-a-half movie without the game getting really repetitive. This was a strength because the movie knew when to start taking itself seriously, and the tone felt well established. The acting was also pretty good. You could definitely believe that these teenagers were scared out of their minds while playing the game. There's only one actor that I didn't like, and that's because he was really cheesy and didn't feel natural, but he wasn't a main character, so it didn't bother me too much. Nerve reminds me of the movie Now You See Me. It's really visually appealing, and it's a lot of fun to watch, but if you think about the movie too much, it starts to make no sense. This was Nerve's biggest problems. There were so many plot holes. The writing felt incredibly lazy, especially when the movie ended and things were just left unsolved. For example, a love interest was set up in the beginning between V and one of her friends, Tommy, and this love interest was obvious throughout the film, and then it was not resolved at all at the end. The writers just put Tommy together with a girl that he didn't like at the beginning of the movie, and they had about 5 minutes of screen time together. It just made no sense. There's also a scene where V and her best friend get into this huge fight, but then the two friends make up 5 minutes later without an apology because the plot needed them to. The actual game Nerve, it had a lot of unexplainable things too. For example, if a player completes a challenge, they get money, but if they fail and refuse to take another challenge, they don't just lose the money from that challenge, they lose all the money from the previous challenges. If this was the case, then who would play the game? There's basically no way to win unless you're the most daring kid in all of New York City. Another thing that wasn't really well explained was who was running the game Nerve. The movie tried to explain that the game was run by the players only and that no one high up was controlling the game, but if you think about it at the end of the film, this just didn't make sense. The movie tried to take on an internet-like style, and it worked at times, but it crashed and burned at other times. For example, there were some scenes where you could read the comments of watchers as something important was happening, and the writers made the comments really funny and entertaining, like they were a blast to read. But there were so many comments, and they were coming so fast, that you started focusing on the comments rather than the really important scene in the movie. One of the greatest takeaways from this movie, though, is the theme. It really made you think about the internet and how being anonymous on the web can affect how a person acts. It just makes me think of all the sites like 4chan and Reddit and how awful people can be on those sites because they think that they're untraceable. Overall, the movie was a lot of fun to watch. It kept your adrenaline high, and it was really entertaining, and it had a great theme. But as soon as you left the theater, this movie begins to lose its touch. You think about how lazy the writing was, how many unsolved conflicts there are, and how it did not make sense at all. So, I would recommend seeing this movie, but maybe wait till it's on DVD. I ultimately would give it a C, but that doesn't mean I don't think it's worth a watch. As I said before, I put this in the same category of Now You See Me, which I have a lot of fun watching, but as soon as the movie's over, I'm like, okay, that made no sense. I got to see Nerve a few weeks early, so if you did too, what did you think? If you haven't seen it yet, would you want to watch it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, thanks for watching.